Hello everyone and welcome back to Monster Mania, part of the Jesse Hecht Creative Collection. Today, this Halloween, we're going over a trio of monsters. The DC Multiverse Nightmare Bat, the NECA glow-in-the-dark Frankenstein monster, and the Fresh Monkey Fiction Operation Monster Force Count Dracula. Now let's get to it. Here are the pieces for the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman Forever Nightmare Bat. The head sculpt is appropriately bat-like. I love the nose, it's so good. Those teeth are really jagged and scary, all individually done. Having not gotten McFarlane before, Todd does a great job. I think it's all him, so I'm really impressed. Look at the ears, they're really insanely painted and sculpted. If there were anything to nitpick, it would be the eyes. They're not painted as well as I thought they would be. You just get a plain sort of pinkish red. There should be some white in there to balance it out, kind of like the printing tech. That'd be great. And for articulation, you can open the mouth. It looks nice inside. The teeth are painted really nicely, and the mouth is too. It's pretty cool. And the back of the head has some nice texturing on the ears. Really well done on that. And there is a ball peg on a stick you can place into the body. All in all, very impressed by this head sculpt. Very bat-like and really great. Good job, Todd. The body itself is basically like a chicken wing or something. It's kind of funny. Not really that much substance, but it looks pretty cool. The fur going all the way down to the tail, which looks nice at least, and to the legs. You could have put articulation into here. That would have been really nice. But the paint is very detailed. I love how it's put together. It's almost like chicken-like and human-like. It's kind of creepy and scary in a good way, so well done, I guess. There are 4 holes comprised to build this bat. You have 1 for each wing, as well as 1 for the head and 1 for the stand. And placing head in body is pretty simple. You just gotta wait till it snaps. You get a nice twist, as well as a not really up and down, but the twist is good at least. And the wings are immaculately detailed too. I love all the veins on the inside. It looks just beautiful, this piece. And going further in, we see the veins comprising each segment of wing, as well as these sort of finger claws, whatever these are, stretching out, and it just looks so nice. There's that drumstick again. There's even a claw at the top, looking really cool, and it just fits in so well. Great job, Todd. And the other wing is basically the same, but flipped, but man, it just looks so nice. And placing the wing inside the socket shouldn't be too difficult. Just push it in a little bit with some force. There we go. And now for the other side, get those hums in. There we go. Big snap on that one. And the wings of articulation moving around, go all the way, doesn't really clip anything or hurt anything, as well as going up okay, and down pretty far at least. And the same for the other side, flapping, twisting, it's all there and works wonders for this nightmare of a bat. And finally, we get a DC logo stand, and it doesn't look that interesting to me. It's very scratched up as I got this second hand, but yeah, it's still pretty good, I guess. This little stick here made of metal and rubber looks very nice. There's also a lot of little tiny, showing up closer, little balls on this peg, so that's pretty nice for this stand. And placing this on this is pretty simple. Just put it in there, and there's enough friction for it not really to twist or move or anything. It works. And the ultimate test, placing bat on stand, just stick it on there with a little bit of elbow grease, and it works very well. And the Nightmare Bat in its full glory looks gorgeous. You can move it up a little bit this far and down a little bit this far, kind of, not really that much, as well as swivel side to side a little bit, but that's about it. It would have been great to move the body back this much and have the head move forward a little bit, but I think that's too much to ask for with this. I'm glad I at least have flapping wings on each side, though it's pretty cool. And the Nightmare Bat on the stand stands at about 6 3/4 or 7 inches tall or so, and with one wing being about 9 inches long, the body being at about, I would say, 3 inches long, we have around a 21-inch long wingspan from tip to tip. And the body is about, I would say, 6 to 6 1/4 inches long or so. And here is the Nightmare Bat next to the Jada Toys Wolfman, the custom Kit Bash MOTU version Simon Belmont, the Jada Toys Creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Boss Fight Studios Barbarian Skeleton Armor with Gladiator Skeleton. They all look really nice and scale with each other, as well as the Nightmare Bat, and I'm going to use this giant bat to fight Simon Belmont as a boss battle. Really cool. Next up is the glow-in-the-dark NECA Universal City Studios Frankenstein monster from Universal Monsters. The front looks alternately kind of boring and eye-catching, but very gorged at the same time. I'm not sure what they're doing with this box art. It's kind of weird to me, honestly. And taking a look at the back, we get other figures in the wave as well as some more boring stuff. Honestly, NECA's never been really my favorite company, and their lack of detail shows here. And the back of the box says, collect the whole creepy crew of Universal film monsters, all posable and ready for action. Now let's take a look at this Frankenstein monster. The head sculpt looks pretty interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the scar, though, and the eyes aren't really painted all that well to me. The hair isn't painted that well either. Honestly, I kind of got this because of the height, but really, it's kind of a bad figure. Look at that ear. It just looks so weird to me. The bolts in the neck are pretty cool, though. It's a nice little detail. This one's like melting off for some reason. That's not good on that. That's a bummer. I tried to resurrect it with my fingernail, but it looks still really droopy and goopy, and I don't know what this is. It should be painted, probably. I'm not sure if this one got past QC that well. And the head swivels around pretty nicely and works out well, going up and down. There is a double ball neck on the bottom and top, and it looks really nice, at least for movement, but not that great for looks. The body is just a coat kind of pinned together with the underneath working out pretty well. I don't want to mess this up or break it or anything. It just looks nice though, and the texturing is pretty solid on this. The hand has kind of a ghoulish tone to it. It looks kind of weird. I wish this came with fists or something. That would be really nice, but it probably would have been breaking the budget as is. The skin doesn't even look like skin. It looks like vines or something. It's very strange to me, honestly. And for articulation, we do get a swivel over here as well as a crunch going down and up pretty far at least. The arm goes out pretty far and down and then all the way around. No butterfly joint to speak of. You do get a single joint going up and then side to side on that and down, with the wrist going down and then up and this swivel. Again, fists would have been better. And the legs are those big clunky Frankenstein legs, and the texturing is the same as the coat, but the butt isn't textured that well. That's really weird. Going back all the way around, these giant clunky boots, I love them. They are Frankenstein material. Really big lifts on those. And for the legs, they do move out really far and in and then up pretty okay, and back not really that great. You do get a 90-degree joint over there and down, with sort of a swivel over here at least, and a swivel at the knee, as well as a down and then a up and then a pivot with two pegos on the feet. Decent articulation on this figure with a decent sculpt and decent paint. Overall, it's just okay to me. The best thing about this figure is the glow-in-the-dark paint they use. It's really nice. Even if it's fading a little bit on camera right now, it's super bright and works out very well. And the retro NECA glow-in-the-dark Frankenstein monster stands at about 7.5, 7.25 inches tall or so. Here he is next to the glow-in-the-dark creature from the Black Lagoon from Jada, and the Gladiator skeleton wearing barbarian skeleton armor from Boss Fight Studios. And here he is next to my Kit Bash custom of Simon Belmont with He-Man parts, and the Jada Toys Bride of Frankenstein. These scale kind of off in a way, but I think this works pretty well. I think he should be taller in comparison to Simon, though. Weird. But to be frank about this, I think Jada knocked it out of the park with these. This one is just a pale imitation on these ones. If these were a little taller, they'd be a little bit better, I think, but really, this one is just not that great. And putting Simon in between the two makes me think that I could have two different Frankensteins for this guy, the Super Castlevania version and the Castlevania revamped version. But here's a monster you can count on right after this. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. Here is the box for the Operation Monster Force Dracula. I love the background on this. I want to see a dio of this kind of thing. There's a bunch of bats over here. He's carrying a sword, has claws and fangs. It looks awesome. And the logo has claws and fangs too. The top has the logo and a really high age rating, honestly. BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store exclusive there, along with a lot of legalese over here, as well as chalked on. That is a different pronunciation and spelling I thought I would have for this word, and a barcode over here, along with the spine of the box having number 4 on this. Pretty cool on that, as well as the Fresh Monkey Fiction logo and the website for them. We're gonna see more of them around Christmas time. And on the back there's a lot of lore and bios and stuff and figures in the wave I'll never get. I'm just interested in Drac himself, so let's open up this count and see what's inside. And opening up the box, there's a comic over here as well as the Count. This version of Count Dracula looks a little more regal. I like the beard, it's pretty cool, and the hair is nice, but but it's not really my Drac, honestly. The widow's peak from the one I know and love is still there, and the eyes have a little bit of red in them as well as black. The eyebrows look really great, and the ears are pointed, which is a great little detail they put in there. The expression looks stern. This looks more like Vlad Tepes than Dracula in a way to me. And the skin tone is a little bit mottled and a little textured. It looks really nice too, with a blemish here, which is sad, but what are you gonna do? And you do get a swivel over here. Not really that great. The hair is hindering it. Back, not really. Forward, pretty good on this, and a side to side, very nice for this Dracula head. The body has a really cool cloak on it that I really love. It looks nice in the center and has a lot of little snakes and cracks and crags and brambles and stuff like that. It's really neat, and these are red. They look nice, but more paint blemishes. Sad. I really expected more from this being a collector's item. The tie looks really nice up here too. The sculpting is really great. The paint just needs a lot of work. The cuffs are good on the sleeves, and the trench coat back is nice, as well as a stand back here for posing. I do adore the wrinkles on plastic. They look really nice over here, and all in all, the sculpting is just great. Paint needs a bit of work though, and the buttons aren't even painted. This would have been a great detail to add, putting the paint on the buttons. That's a shame. And for articulation, you do get up pretty far and down and all the way around. You get a butterfly joint, which is very nice. You get a swivel over here and a double jointed pinless tech elbow, yeah, and down straight all the way with a swivel and then a hinge up and down for this holding hand, and then the other hand has the same articulation, swivel, and then up and down. Very tight though. And for the body articulation, you can go back pretty far, forward pretty far. I can't tell what's inside here. It works okay. You don't really need it that well, aside from the waist at least. And as usual, the legs are very boring, not really that great, and hidden by the cloak. That's a 3 for, yeah, but we got some good texturing up here, and the boots are nice as well down here. Treads too. And the articulation can go out pretty far and in. Drop down hips? No, not really. Up pretty far and back. Pretty okay on that with a double jointed knee that's really hindered by this cloak and doesn't work all that well. Not really that back that well. Shame. This is as far as I can get it, going down and then swivel up here. I swivel at the boot cuff up there and then down and then up and then a pivot with 2 pegos at the bottom of the treaded feet. They're really nice. A nice figure with some QC issues that can be figured out later on, I guess. This head sculpt is a step up from the previous, but just a step. Having it be open mouth would have been amazing on this. The hair is the same, the eyes are the same, the brows are the same, the ears are the same, everything else is pretty much the same on this figure. It's just okay. I do love all the wrinkles around the face though, and the articulation is the same as well, down, up, a little bit tighter than before, but you get some good movement with this Dracula head. It's much better anyways. He comes with 2 fists that you can swivel and then hinge pretty well. They work out really nice also, but I don't really see Dracula punching things. He also comes with 2 gun-toting hands, despite not having any guns to tote, and yeah, they're fine, I guess. You get a swivel and then a gun-toting hinge over here. Just to me, you don't even need these. Dracula with a gun is like saying Batman with a gun. It just doesn't feel right. My personal favorite of the bunch, though, are these clawed hands. They're so cool. You get a nice swivel and hinge out of them, and they work really well. He also comes with a sword that shines really nicely in the lighting. Very well done on that. It has bat wings on here and a dragon head. It's really cool. Fits really nicely in the hand. It's super neat. There's also just enough space for him to dual wield this thing. It's a great sword, but does have a little bending issue that I need to iron out or maybe heat up. It works well though. Hurrah! He also comes for a stand for his feet with little pegs in it that says Operation Monster Force. It looks really nice, and I love the sort of gravestone texture on it. It's really great for when the lion's gonna die. Just do this. And on the other side, you get a Count Dracula, looking very good over there. Not too fancy or anything, could be fancier. And the bottom looks like it could have some kind of like cardboard thing going in here that would have been great for the back or something. Oh well. He fits nicely on it, but the figure doesn't really need it. I'm not sure if I want to use it as a headstone or as a footstand. Fresh Monkey Fiction's Count Dracula stands at about 6 inches tall or so. Here he is next to my Kit Bash Custom Simon Belmont, as well as the Jada Toys Invisible Man. They look nice together, but I don't know. This might be able to fit within this collection. It's pretty cool. He's way too short for Simon to fight, though, at least. But comparing Count to Count and Drac to Drac, we have the Jada Toys Count Dracula and the Jada Toys Bela Lugosi Count Dracula. But it all comes down to preference which Dracula you want in your collection. If you want a more classic Dracula, go for this one. If you want a more movie Dracula, go for this one. If you want a more Vlad Tepes-inspired one, go for this one. And here they all are next to each other, my basic Castlevania crew: the skeleton, the Frankenstein monster, the giant bat, the Dracula, and the Simon Belmont. I'm really glad to be finding this many weird creatures and characters alone this year. I'm just so happy to have these in the collection. Overall, happy Halloween. The Nightmare Bat looks awesome on the stand. I love this piece and it's really well detailed. I just wish it was more posable on the head as well as the arms and maybe legs. The NECA Frankenstein is a hard pass for me. I do like the sculpting on this figure, but the paint and articulation are just horrendous. Skip it. The Fresh Monkey Fiction Count Dracula is a great take on the Count that is really interesting and looks pretty cool. The articulation is really awesome. The accessories are amazing for this. They could be slightly better in some places, but I do think I'm glad with what we got. The paint needs a little bit of work on this one. There are a couple blemishes here and there that shouldn't be happening on a collector's item such as this. If you're a fan of monsters, horror, or Castlevania games, then you'll love these figures. They're actually pretty cool. But if you're just looking for your Castlevania collection, I would highly recommend getting the Nightmare Bat Build-A-Figure. I got mine for pretty cheap online and it works out really well. Dracula's a maybe if you want something more of an Order of Ecclesia version for Dracula. This works perfectly for that, but the Frankenstein just stay away from. But make no mistake, to get your Castlevania, you need a Monster Mania. So which figure here is your favorite? The Bat, Frankenstein, or Dracula? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and do keep being creative. Stay tuned.